I've made the best fitting jeans I've ever made, and I've made a few. I'm the happiest with these and I have ever been. Such a satisfying make, and I'm going to be sharing with you lots and lots of tips and tricks about jeans making. Jeans are really fun to sew and you're going to feel so proud when you make your first. So I'm here to encourage you, so keep watching. Hi sewing friends, I'm Karina from liftingpinsandneedles.com. Welcome to this channel that is all about sewing, limitless sewing. And if you're new and you've just come across this channel, here you will find a lot of practical sewing content. So many tips I'm always giving you freely from all my years of sewing experience. And I'm very happy to share that with you. And my aim is to have a positive impact in your sewing journey with your projects at home. So if you feel that that is a cool idea, go ahead and subscribe to this channel. Tap on the bell so you don't miss out when new videos go live. I've made a new pair of jeans. I've taken the process super slowly. There is absolutely no reason to rush making a pair of jeans. And now I've made a load of jeans before. I was trying to count how many I've made, probably over a dozen if I combine all the jeans I've made for men. And for myself, I've made a ton of jeans, over a dozen, well over a dozen. And a few years ago, I was even silly to say on my channel, when I was sort of new in this channel, life is too short to make jeans. I can buy them in the shops and they fit me fine. And, there are things that you say that you can regret. And I even regret it more because I said it in a public platform like my own sewing channel. And I know a lot of people think that about jeans. They're willing to make fully lined coats and like really complicated things for the upper half, but then jeans are like, nah. And I used to have that thought as well. I was never actually afraid of the process of making the jeans. There's nothing really difficult about jeans. It is a bunch of seams at the end of the day that you just follow a process of, but there's nothing really hard about them. For me, it was mainly a thing about not finding the right denim, not finding the right tools, not having the proper sewing machine. If you remember when I started my channel, I was sewing on a really bad quality Toyota sewing machine. That machine couldn't even sew your regular wovens, much less a pair of jeans. So I was limited in the technical aspects and also in my head, I have to admit that. But since I got to Brazil and in 2018, I made my first pair of jeans and they were the easiest ones you could try and make. And for me, those were the Mountain View jeans by Each to Stitch. These are pull-on, stretch denim. They have a curved waistband, fully functional pockets, and they were like my first step into this. And yoke and pockets, it's all really good fun. And I did film a lot of that. You can have a good look at that. It was my first really good experience. And then I went on to make a lot of other jeans for everyone, basically. A few weeks ago, Each to Stitch had a testing call for a pair of jeans. They are called Eddystone Jeans. These jeans have the classic features that you will see in a lot of jeans. You have 5 pockets, 2 pockets on the front that are sort of curved, your little coin pocket on one hip, 2 patch pockets on the back. There is a curved waistband that is really good because it's really good for your shape. It's meant to hit at the ankle. There's a fly front zipper, of course, like all the other jeans. And they are meant to hit at the natural waist. Whether you like to call that high rise or not, I'm not sure. They are described as high rise. And for me, the fit that I achieved with the fitting process that I went through was that they hit at my natural waist. My natural waist is up there. It's above my belly button. I am short-waisted, and now you can't generalize where your waist is. No one can come and tell you your waist is this and this and this place. They can't tell you your waist is at your belly button because your waist might be lower or higher. You need to see your body and determine that. So I am short-waisted. I have a higher rise than the standard, and they hit me comfortably at my natural waist. So there are 2 types of views here. One is the girlfriend fit. These are sort of new terms for me. You've heard of the boyfriend fit, which are sort of more slouchy. Girlfriend fit is fitted at the waist and hips, And then the leg is tapered, but it's not extremely fitted. It's not a skinny jean at all, but it is tapered and it has a nice shape. Then from the knee down, you can choose another option that has the same shape on the top, same fitted waist and hips, but then from the knee down flares out. And that is a demi boot cut fit, which is also a new term for me. I prefer the girlfriend fit. It's more my style, so that is the one that I've sewn. What I really like about this pattern, and I actually drafted this for a denim skirt I made a couple of years ago, is that the pockets go all across the belly. So you have your pockets inside and they go up to the zipper, like they're actually included within the zipper facing for the fly, and that gives you really nice support on your tummy. It feels really comfortable on, and when you put your hands in your pockets, you go all the way to the center, like you have a lot of space in there. This is designed to be made with 0 stretch to minimum stretch, maximum 10% stretch. So it's just your twill, your core draw, your denim has that little bit of give. And I had the perfect denim, extremely nice and soft to work with already. Imagine just trying it on, it just feels amazing. There's no stiffness here. And I would say mine has less than 10% stretch, next to nothing, but it's enough for that comfort that you need. The sizing for this pattern goes from 00 to 20 US. That goes up to a waist of 40.5 inches and hips of 48 inches. Now, when you look at finished garment measurements, they are going to be very close to your measurements. So I've chosen size 14. The positive ease at the waist and hips is minimal, like very minimal. So they're quite fitted. And that's good because, you know, these fabrics that are non-stretch, when you wear these pants, you're going to put them on, they're going to feel tight. But as you move and you see and you live your life, they're going to start giving and then they're going to fit perfect. So you don't want big pants in these types of fabrics because then you're going to end up with a sack as you wear your garment. In the size chart, you'll find detailed measurements of the front rise, the back rise, the inseam. So when you know your body measurements and you can compare to that, you can have an idea of the things you need to change even before making a muslin. I'm not the one that will make a muslin, you know, as is and then just try and see what happens. You know, I know there are things I need to lengthen, like the front rise and the back rise. I know that. I also know I need to lengthen the legs because the inseam here is shorter than what I need. In Up Close and So Personal, I'm going to be sharing a lot of practical footage of all the process I went through before sewing my jeans. Let's hop into that and I hope it can help you. These are the main pieces, the front and the back. That curve you can see there has an integrated facing for the fly zipper insertion. I think it's a bit easier than other ones I've done before, so I'm excited about that. The pattern uses 1/2 inch seam allowance. Now what I've done here is very weird, but it needs to be done. In order to have a correct measurement of the length of the rise, the total length here on the front, I had to pin on the waistband. The waistband also uses 1/2 inch seam allowance, so you can see that mark there joined with the line here on the bottom as if it was sewn, and there's the one on the top. So that's going to be the finished width of the waistband right there. So this is how it's going to be when it's sewn. So I measure from that line there that discounts that seam allowance, measure up to there. This is the intersection of the inseam seam allowance and this one here. So that total length matches my total length after I had to add 3/8 of an inch here. So when I measured this pattern, I found it slightly short for me. My rise is slightly longer than the standard. I am taller, so I usually do need adjustments in this area. So I went ahead at the shorten and lengthen line and added the amount I needed. Now at the back, in order to have the completed length here, I had to add the yoke piece. So that's the yoke. I also marked the 1/2 inch seam allowance and overlapped right there, that one, as if it was sewn. And on the top of the yoke as well, united to the waistband. So that is the top of the finished waistband there, discounting that 1/2 inch seam allowance. So from here, I measure down to there. That is the length. Now, the back, I needed more length than the 3/8 that I added to the front. I did still add the 3/8 to keep the side seams even. So this adjustment there mirrors that adjustment there. So that ensures that the side seams here are going to be even there when I attach them on the sides. But I still needed extra here on the back. So after that line there, I slashed again, I spread apart and added here 1/2 inch more. So in essence, on the center back, I have the 3/8 I added there. That includes the side seam. And then this extra 1/2 inch that is just included in the center back, but not on the side seam. As you can see, that tapers to nothing. Then I had to scoop down a little bit the curve. This is done by pinning and trying on my muslin and doing adjustments. And because I was getting wrinkles at the back pointing to my crotch on the back, and my thighs are a bit more prominent, I slashed a line there, down below the shorten and lengthen line actually, to where you have to unite these two pieces here, depending on the view you're making. So this pattern has a line there, and below you will put the tapered leg or the more straight leg version. So I cut a line up to there, slashed, spread, and here I needed to add 3/4 of an inch or 2 centimeters. Now I had a progression with this. When I made my muslin, I made it with extra seam allowance. I marked where my stitching lines were going to be according to the pattern, and then had a play. And I started first with just this length adjustment. Then I took the muslin apart, made this adjustment, put my pattern piece on the same fabric because I'd given myself more seam allowance. I still had fabric to play with. And this, I started by adding 1/4 inch, then by adding 1/2 inch, and then I ended up with 3/4 inch, which was appropriate for me. Now these are personal adjustments. On the front, I also added a little bit. So here I slashed, and it's a smaller slash, you can see there. And here I just added 1/2 inch. Those are my adjustments for my body. I did need to extend or make the crotch extension longer a little bit on the front and more so on the back because of my booty shape and my legs. I don't have slim thighs at all. I have been squatting and doing exercises for a long time, so my thighs are not the smallest, but it's all adjustable. It's just about seeing what is going on with your muslin. I know these fitting adjustments are personal because they are the ones that I need to fit my body, but maybe they will help you see what approach to take. I do recommend Alexandra Morgan's fitting videos on pants. They are excellent. They're my go-to. I think her teaching style is super clear and easy to understand. Other simple adjustments I made, measuring the inseam here, the completed inseam. Yeah, I needed almost 3 inches. So there's 2 shorten and lengthen lines on the pants, one here at mid-thigh and one sort of below the knee. So up here I lengthened by 1 inch, and down here I lengthened by 1 3/4. So 4.5 centimeters and 2.5, and those are the same I did to both legs. And now this is so that the jeans reach my ankle because I'm taller and my legs are longer. These are the top bits of the front and the back pieces cut on my fabric. This is mine. It stretches barely anything. It'll just give you a bit of give for comfort, but if I try to stretch it horizontally, it's just very minimal. So I think this fabric is really appropriate, and it's super soft and super comfortable. And look at those lines like that. I think it's so nice. Anyway, the front here has that integrated facing, as you can see. There is a notch mark there. There is a dot mark there that will mark where you need to baste and where you need to do regular stitch length here. These are the curve for the pockets, where the pocket lining and the pocket bag are going to be attached right there. And on the back, there's a notch there to help you put the yoke together up here on the top. Now I marked a line there that is a reference for the pocket placement that is on the pattern, but after sewing my muslin and putting a fake pocket on my butt while I was trying it on, I do need mine to go a little bit higher than this. So I sort of determined my pocket placement beforehand on the muslin, and I think it's easier because that means that when you're assembling the back, you can sew on the pocket first, and it makes construction much easier rather than leaving it towards the end. and then with the pants on, putting the pocket and seeing where it will go, it's going to be so much harder to sew on the pocket. So I think you always need to make a muslin, always, always, always. And one of the reasons is after you get the fit that you want, to determine where your pocket is going to look better on your bottom, because that's different for everyone, you know. This is the yoke that goes on the back. This piece is cut with the grain line parallel there to the edge, and you can see there, when you attach it to there, you can see that shape there. So this is what gives all the shaping on the back without having darts. And that's the cool thing about jeans with yokes. Usually the yokes are drafted to eliminate darts that you use on other types of designs. And there's a notch there and a notch there that need to match. So I've shown you the pocket. These are regular pockets with a typical shape. There are notches on each side to signify where this will be folded down, like that. You can see the waistband is curved, it's anatomic, and there is a center back line right there. Now the distance from the center towards there and towards there is different, because one side is going to be for the left and the other side is going to be for the right. You know, the overlap of the zipper makes these distances a little bit different. So that's how it's drafted, and you're meant to cut two. This pattern does not interface any of these waistband pieces. What it does instead is use a stabilizing notion here on the top, either twill tape, a piece of woven selvage, or clear elastic. Okay, so there are two pocket pieces, the front pocket and the facing pocket, and they are both meant to be cut with lining fabric. This is the one that goes behind this curve right there. So pretend this is like a funky cotton that will go there. And because that curve is going to be seen, there is another pattern piece that is called the front pocket yoke. This is the one that goes behind there from the main fabric. Denim piece will go sewn on to the fabric that you've chosen to put there. And on one of the sides, just on one of them, there's going to be a little coin pocket, and there's some placement guidelines there. I've just marked that with little dots. Dot, 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 dot. Maybe you can see them. And this is the one piece that is going to go on the right hip, that is going to have that little coin pocket. So when you wear your pocket, it's going to look like that, and it's going to have the little tiny pocket there just on the right hip, you know, not on the left. So that's why I just have one piece. This pocket facing is the one that actually goes sewn onto that curve there and flipped back, and is going to join this on the inside, and that's why they're the same size. Now this one here is going to reach this bit there, and that's why this area, this facing, doesn't need to be interfaced. It's because you're going to have the fabric that you've chosen for the pockets there, and it'll work in some sort of sewn on interfacing way, you know, that sewn on interface that is not fused on. Well, the pocket pieces that are going to be double and extend all the way over here are going to work as that, and you're going to have lots of tummy support all the way across there, because the pocket will reach the whole extension of the front on both sides. So I think that's really cool. There are two more pieces I haven't shown you, and actually I'm glad I'm filming this because I thought I'd cut this out and I haven't. This is the fly shield. So it's this shape here, and on the shorter end it says to cut on the fold. So I'm basically going to have a piece like that. This is a long piece that's cut with the grain line going down. The grain line going down is super important because this doesn't have any stretch at all. So it's designed to have 5 belt loops. I have cut mine out, but I never sew belt loops on my jeans. I don't wear belts, I don't tuck them in. I think I found the appropriate fabric to use inside the pockets. This is a cotton, Spring Industries, Concord, Country Floral 7838. I have no idea where it comes from, but you would think this would have no stretch, but look, it has a little bit of give, just that little bit. And the same as this denim, actually. If I compare the tiny amount of give it has, I think it would be comparable. And this is lightweight, it's quite thin, so it's not going to add extra bulk there with the pockets. I need 2 layers of each. So this is the fabric I'm going to use to cut the front pocket there, and the pocket facing. So I think it's gonna look cool, you know, blue denim with these red details inside, though no one's gonna see it. I think it's pretty and functional because it's got the properties that I was looking for. To make my muslin, I just pulled that yoke piece and pinned it there so that that would complete the hip for that part, and that's how I cut out the fabric for the muslin. I don't want to be doing pockets on a muslin. Same as here. You don't need to do that. What I did was just calculate and fold this back and leave myself half an inch seam allowance there so I could just sew a centered zipper, a normal quick zipper, to just allow that to go up in order to try everything on. Otherwise you don't need to do all the details for all the muslin. Here you can see my muslin. I do always put a waistband on because I do want to know the total length of how the item is going to fit on me. I think skipping the waistband is not a good idea. And there you can see my wonky zipper insertion. It probably took me like a couple seconds to throw that on there, and that allows me to zip in and out easily. I have put the yoke and everything there. It's partially deconstructed because I took out one of the back legs that had the marks of my actual sewing lines where I wanted them to be. Being able to transfer that onto the paper pattern, so that's why one back leg is missing. I unstitched from the yoke and everything, but I have a full leg here. And before I took apart partially this muslin, I did mark the pocket placement. So that blue line you see there is the placement that is suggested by the pattern. I did cut a piece of pocket in that type of material and put it on my butt and looked at myself and everything, and I thought that the placement that is about 3/4 of an inch higher or 2 centimeters above what was recommended is a nicer placement for myself. What I can say about making a muslin, I chose a fabric that has zero stretch, like absolutely no stretch, which is perfect. I wanted my muslin to fit really snugly because I knew that my main fabric, although it didn't have much stretch, it had a little bit of give. So I knew that if my muslin was really nice and tight on me, that my main denim was going to fit me really nice around the circumferences. Do not go and make a pair of like a wearable muslin. Like, no, don't waste fabric on that. Just get some scraps, you know, make your muslin properly, take the time to fit it. When you're happy, then go ahead and do pockets and front flies and patch pockets. You know, if you're making a wearable muslin that didn't turn out wearable because the fit is not right, you're going to be super frustrated because, you know, it's a lengthy process. It's top stitching. There's a lot of things going on for you to be wasting your time making a wearable muslin when there's no one that can assure you that it will be wearable. I can't assume a pattern was made for me. My body is my body, my lengths and my circumferences are mine. There's so many different things that each body has, especially in pants. You know, the size of your bottom, the height of the muscle insertion of your glutes, how much muscle you have, how low it is, how high it is. I mean, there's just so much. I'm taller than the standard height. My rise is longer. I am short-waisted. You know, my legs are longer. I know that. So I can't go and just make a jean and think it's going to fit me just because of the basic measurement, your waist and your hips. There's so much more. So just please take the time and don't make a wearable muslin. Just make a proper, horrible muslin that is going to help you get the fit that you want. And once you've achieved that, then go ahead and make your jeans, and then you're going to be so much happier. These are my jeans. I don't put belt loops. I don't tuck in. I would never tuck in. I actually have never tucked in anything. I would feel extremely self-conscious. But look at this. So you can see how curved this waistband is. The waistband is not interfaced, but look how sturdy it is on the top. Like, it's not going to stretch out and start falling on you because there is selvage in there. That I put instead of twill tape. Super good. So there's no interfacing inside this curved waistband. I did, however, place small amounts of interfacing here on these two edges to stabilize, to put a jean button and to do my buttonhole. That is something that I did. And curved pockets there. Now this is the place there and there where you would put rivets if you wanted to. double row of top stitching, and I have understitched my pocket facing inside. You saw that I've chosen this cotton specifically because it had that little bit of give that mimicked the give my jeans had. I was really careful about that, and I also wanted it to be really lightweight, you know. To put the waistband on, I couldn't do the reverse method that I like to do. You know, I had to do it the way it's instructed. So I did baste this on the whole thing before actually sewing it, and I did manage to catch the back that was folded, you know, so it's all nice and neat there. Okay, so the fly front is there. You can see my top stitching there, some bar tacks. It's pretty neat. And I've done some extra things just for looks inside that I'm going to show you when I turn this inside out. But let me tell you something about the zipper. And I'm being completely honest here. Okay, so I've sewn a lot of zippers. I can sew them in my sleep. It's not anything that will stress me out when I make a pair of jeans, or even if I just make a pair of pants. I've made linen pants, I've made fly fronts on other things that are not jeans, skirts, just regular trousers, you know. So I'm not scared of that. And I've even got a video tutorial about it that I published on the channel about 2 years ago, of a method that I sort of devised, mixing a bunch of methods just the way that I like to do it and that I've had great results. So that method takes a lot of more steps. There's more pattern pieces. Anyway, this one's much easier. But because I've already had that one in my head, hardwired into my brain, I was scratching my head. I was like, what? Oh my gosh. I was like, I'm telling you, I was scratching my head. And that's because of my previous experience. Now, if you haven't done a fly front and you see these instructions, you're going to think, oh yeah, that's perfect, because there's no prior knowledge of other different methods. So I basically had to do a cleansing process in my brain to unlearn what I know about zippers and just start fresh. And then I figured it out. It's very simple. It's much easier than what I've been doing before. And I've never come across this method before. I promise, I had never come across it. It's a good technique. It's brilliant, really. At the back, you have the yoke and the patch pockets. My pocket designs are really boring and simple. I am no artist and I cannot draw and sew anything pretty here. You'll never see me do like things, you know, like stuff. It's very simple. And sometimes I don't do anything at all. I just top stitch around and that's it, you know. Otherwise, my legs are a bit longer. There is my regular hem. There is some top stitching there just to catch that area where the pocket is inside. So it's just a little bit there on the side seams. And on the inseam, the instructions suggested 1 row of top stitching, like on the edge. And I did an extra just to mimic my ready-to-wear jeans. I have a double row of top stitching on the inseam. It's decorative. You can do that if you want to do that. There's the back. So that seam of the yoke gets pressed up towards the waistband and top stitched. There is the back crotch sewn. It's also got the double row of top stitching. And now this is a pretty bit that I did on the front as an extra thing. It wasn't on the instructions, but I just sort of adapted some things to make this work. So I have bias binding that I made with this same cotton, only that's the right side of the fabric, and I should have been thinking clearly and made this pocket bag have the right side here so that I could see it, because this is the wrong side. Anyway, it still looks nice. There is a shield. There's some bar tacks holding that together there, and there. And then the facing here, I was able to catch that with the bias binding and go all the way around and catch it here on the left, there and there. It was pretty fiddly, but it's a nice detail that I think looks nice inside. And you can see how the pocket goes all the way across your tummy, you know. So I think I like that. It's comfortable. When you put it on, you can feel that support on your tummy. And you know, I used to not understand that when I was younger, but I do understand that now completely, how nice it feels to have something supporting your tummy. So I love this. I'm going to adjust the camera so you can see how these fit. This is the fit on my jeans. Snug at the hips. On the thighs, it's not really tight. That sort of follow my shape. That is the length that I needed after having that adjustment, almost 3 inches extra of length divided into the thigh and then the lower leg. back, and I'll show you up close the pockets and all that stuff. I'm trying to camouflage with this green top here, the kawaii top. There is my fly front zipper right there. Bar tacks, if you can see them maybe. Coin pocket right there, the two pockets. I have red on the inside that you will never see, and the back. There is my simple pocket. I don't like doing huge designs, very simple, very basic. Band up here reaches my natural waist. The feet at the back there. It is so hot. It's not jean wearing weather right now, but anyway. At the back, you can see there are still a little bit of fold and a little bit of excess fabric at the bottom of my bottom. You need that. It's not excessive in my case. You do need that to live, to sit down, to walk. You can't have skin tight jeans that are not made out of stretch denim. You're just not going to be able to move. You can't expect to have that fit that cups the bottom completely like you would on those really skin tight stretch denim jeans. This is not stretch denim. This is as tight as I would want them to be, and the fit I find is really nice at the back as is. They're comfortable to wear, and for me this is the perfect fit in a jean that is non-stretch. And I can see making many more of these now that I have the fit right. I know these fit me exactly like I want them to, and I just go ahead and make a bunch more now. So I'm extremely excited of having tackled this, taking the time to do it nice and slow. No one was rushing me. And you know, it was a really nice experience. This is a brand new pattern, and for the first week it is on a discounted price still. So during the video, if you like what you see and you think I might want to give jeans making a go, go ahead and get this pattern. It's a great pattern to start with if you've never made a pair of jeans. The construction techniques are superb as always with each to stitch patterns. Instructions are great, the diagrams are awesome. So you know, there's a lot of support for you in the Itch to Stitch group, Facebook group as well. So I think you would be successful if you give these a go. I am here to support you. I have a lot of footage on the channel about jeans making, and anything you want to ask, just type down below if you have questions. If you want to get this pattern, you can use my affiliate link down below. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you soon with another video. I'm planning to share with you something different, so just look out for the next video. Stay safe everyone, stay at home, stay healthy, and you are always in my thoughts. Thank you so much for being here today. Bye.